Now, let's bring to our audience Customer Experience Index Study 2024. And for that, I'm inviting Mr. Shailesh Narayanan, Country Head, Frost & Sullivan, India, to please come up on dais. As you know, this is the inaugural survey conducted by FADA to meticulously analyze every aspect of the customer journey within the passenger vehicle spectrum, encompassing a wide range of vehicles from hatchbacks to luxury vehicles, including SUVs, MPVs, and EVs, including sales, after-sales service, and product quality. This comprehensive examination will provide invaluable insights that will shape the future of automobile industry. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Shailesh Narayanan to present before you Customer Experience Index Study 2024.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers who spoke before, and esteemed audience who are present over here. It's a privilege for Frost & Sullivan to be associated with FADA to present this interesting and landmark study, the Customer Experience Index. This is first of its kind to be done in India, and the focus of this Experience Index is focused on the passenger vehicle segment for all the vehicles, brands, both from the mass market and the luxury segment in India. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the study. While some of these insights were already out in the media, and many of you would have got a glance to look at it, but I'm going to present to you some more insights in terms of what the study is focusing on and what were the highlights that came out. And it'll be something interesting to note that there are some interesting data points that really came out of the study, and it'll be good for the industry to leverage and take this forward. So what is this study all about? What was the objective? When we took the study, what was the objective of the study? What was this? The whole objective of the study, or the index, Customer Experience Index, it was to understand and quantify the customer satisfaction, focusing on the journey on 3 parameters: sales, after sales and service, and product. So we focused on the entire journey that a customer goes through, not stopping with one of them. All the 3 elements or the factors were focused on the passenger vehicle. We also did the study also focused to access the key drivers of satisfaction, the quantum of contribution to the satisfaction. So it is a very important activity to understand what is the quantum of satisfaction, and also to understand if there are any key barriers of satisfaction that needs to be identified, and areas of improvement that the industry can take as part of customer. The industry today works towards the customer, and this study is an interesting output that typically brings towards improving the customer experience or the customer satisfaction. Who were the respondents? There are several studies that are done. There are several activities the industry does. Who were the respondents? So Frost & Sullivan, in collaboration with FADA, worked on a unique respondent profile. So who were the respondents? The respondents were not given by OEMs. The respondents were not given by dealers. This was a sample that was taken from the marketplace. It had a combination of male and female who were 18 years above. This sample, the respondents were primary users of cars, who were users, personal usages only, and not driven by somebody else. And these were new vehicle owners who had been involved in the purchase of the vehicle in the last 12 months' time. So that was a typical respondent's profile. And typically, from a categorization of how did we do across, for sales and product quality evaluation, the respondents were chosen for people who have bought their car in the last 12 months. The study was commissioned in May 2024, so it was taken in account that May 2023 to May 24 was the period in which we had chosen people who have bought the vehicle. For after sales, it was a longer period. We took a longer period of time for after sales. For after sales, it was considered people who have bought a vehicle in the last 3 years, people who have purchased from an authorized dealer. We ensured that it was people who have bought passenger cars who got from the authorized dealer in the last 3 years, 12 to 36 months. That was the period. So the respondents were very closely chosen, and this was a respondent profile which was picked up from the marketplace on a random basis. Where were these respondents based? What was the sample size? how are they distributed among all the cities? I mean, is it skewed more towards tier 1, tier 2, or is it spread across? I heard a lot of speakers talking earlier. We had even the panel initially talking about how do we capitalize on improving rural demand? How do we do things across? So the sample was about 8,600 odd sample. From a sales and product, 3,000 and odd people were removed. I'm not going to the exact number. 3,683 people were interviewed for sales and product. For after sales and product, about 5,000 people were interviewed. Combination of male and female people above 18 years. It went across multiple tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 had their equal share, and it was spread in across 26 cities pan-India basis. So what were some of the interesting highlights that came out of the study? So let me take a few minutes to talk to you about some of those interesting highlights. I call this as the voice of customer cloud. So why do I call it as a cloud? I mean, based on some 97 parameters that we analyzed, these were some of those top points that were coming out as the voice of customer. Many of them are known to all of us in our day-to-day. The industry reads, breathes, and lives on many of these. Service is the topmost one, which everybody believes, and that's where a lot of things happen, so service is definitely one. But there were some interesting facts that came out in addition to those one in the size of the font and the colors will differ in terms of the weightages that each of them got in the survey. Service, innovative technology, reliable, comfortable brand, all those things were on the top. But you see some of those important points like looking at things like body, reliable vehicle, talking about safety, design, still it was surprising, and it was important to note, it's not surprising, it is important to note that customers are still looking for those segments, because today all of us feel our customer journey is more about providing a lot more of technology in the vehicle. While technology still plays a role, there was some interesting data point that came out that customers still are also looking for steady body, reliable performance of the vehicle, and other stuff that's definitely the reliability of the vehicle. What were some of the delighters? I'm sharing snippets of the study. I'm not sharing the entire study, which is talking about, I'm sharing snippets of the study. What were some of the delighters that really came out? So we tried to group those delighters which were ranked on a scale of 1 to 5. All the scores were ranked on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And the study was completely based on ensuring that customers get that rating of 5. And who are those people who said 5? The delighters on sales were things from test drive, the test drive experience in the sales process. When somebody goes to buy a vehicle, test drive experience is not in order of any priority, but these are some of those delighters. Test drive experience, responsiveness and knowledge level of the sales team whom they are dealing with was an important parameter. Ease of transaction payment was also one of the delighters. Ease of locating dealership. This was a very important point that came out in tier 2, tier 3 places. In terms of ease of locating dealership was one of the important points, and attractiveness of promotional offers. Festive season is up in the cards, so obviously an important point. I know all OEMs in the industry would have planned for what they wanted to, but this is an important point that did came out as delighters from a sales purchase. From a product standpoint, the topmost one, or the ones in the order, not in the order of priority, I would say, is performance, reliability, seat comfort and legroom, the comfort when they are traveling in that vehicle, fuel efficiency, mileage, good resale value. I mean, today, with the crowd, people, they would like to change, they're looking for good resale value and good warranty terms when they are owning the vehicle. From an after-sales perspective, the delighters were workmanship quality. Service was topmost in the world cloud when you come about. When you look at the service was topmost. So workmanship quality was top. Ease of appointing and scheduling the process. Appointment scheduling process was another thing. I know today we have moved to app world. OEMs have moved to, the dealers are all on an app, and they are all on app, and we feel that app is used for scheduling appointments. That was one of the important points. Post-service follow-up was another important point that really came up over there as a delighters, with fairness of price charge, well-known factor, and ease of registering complaint. These are some of those delighters that came out in the study when we drew it across the respondents that we really talked about. What were some more highlights? While those were all delighters that I talked about on the sample that we did, there were also some more interesting highlights that came from this customer experience. These are again talking a little bit from the different genders that were interviewed. This talks about also the age groups were interviewed, because we interviewed people. We did the study, the respondents were from an age group of 18 to 50 plus. So there were younger age groups, there were older age groups, there were male drivers, there were female drivers, people are there. So I'd like to bring to point 3 important points, while there are several more highlights that are there, but I want to bring on 3 important points, which I felt is important, and it will be good for the industry to take note. Female buyers. I know there are some female drivers or female people present over here. Female buyers, emphasis, the need for relationship management, short lead time to delivery, and efficient addressal of commercial queries, where some of those 3 key points that came out from the female drivers unanimously, the weightages that were the most of the females who were responded gave on this. Younger age groups who were interviewed as part of this respondent profile were influenced by the responsiveness that the sales team gave them in the dealership, value for money, availability of AMCs, and attractive promotional offers, discounts, and trade-in offers. That's what they said. The older age groups obviously came with some well-known facts, which we might feel are well-known facts. They felt the test drive experience that they undertake, because this could have been their end car. We do not have been the end car. So they always felt when they are going in for a new car, when they are going for a new vehicle or so for them, test drive experience and effective handling of queries was very, very important. Obviously, the older age groups have got a different preference as compared to the younger age groups, and so is a male and female. These are some interesting highlights that came out of the study, which it is few. There are a lot more that could be of helpful to the industry. So what is this customer experience index all about? Now let's go and talk a little bit about what this index was all about. As I talked earlier, we covered 3 categories. Sales, which is the purchasing process that they go through. Yes, we talked about after sales and service, and we talked about product. Now let me go through each of these. I know the results are out. I'm not going to talk much on this. Kia leads in terms of the index. It's an index score. It's not a percentage. It's a sales experience index. Kia leads in the sales experience index with the maximum score, closely followed by MG and Nissan. The scores are very close. The scores are very close. It's an index. It's not a percentage. It's not a representative of any percentage. It's an index which is calculated all the parameters. And this is where it stands in the mass market segment. In the luxury brands, BMW leads the index in terms of customer satisfaction, closely followed by Mercedes and Audi. And the luxury brands, we have closely taken care, and the scoring was based on about 100 points on the index that we did. The product experience in it had a different set of profile on the mass market. The OEMs were the same, the brands were the same that we really talk about. Here in the mass market for the product experience, Toyota leads the way in terms of the leader, closely followed by Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki. So these were the players who won on the product experience index on the mass market. The luxury brands, Audi, BMW and Mercedes were the rank. Audi leads the way in terms of the luxury market segment from a product experience index. This is an experience index given by the customers who bought the vehicle in the last 12 months that's been there. After sales experience was scored by people who have been using a vehicle for a period of 12 to 36 months. They are people who have been experiencing the vehicle. Kia leads the way over here again with the top score, closely followed by Mahindra and Honda, which are leading out over there. These are the top players. If you see all these scores, you see all these bars, it's sometimes very difficult to get this index calculated. It's been almost a minute difference at a decimal level that has happened across in the mass market space. From an after-sales experience standpoint, it is Audi, followed by Mercedes and BMW. So these were the 3 categories in which we did. And now is the time for us to talk to you about the overall customer experience index. This is a unique approach that we took. while we said we are talking about sales, which is done at several levels, we are talking about product, which is very important, we are talking about after-sales service important, it was very important for us to come up with an overall customer experience index. And the overall customer experience index for mass market, the leader over here is Kia. A big round of applause to Kia, closely followed by Toyota and Tata Motors. Very narrow margins between the 1 and 2, which you really see out over there, but I know it's a really tough point in terms of putting those index together in the mass market. And from a luxury brand segment, Audi scores as the leader out over there. Another round of applause to the luxury brand in terms of Audi, followed by BMW right over there. This is the overall index in terms of what it is, which we really put across based on those activities. Interesting study. I hope this industry is able to leverage this because the industry is constantly looking to understand and experience the customer journey or experience the customer centricity approach that they want to do and create a unique value proposition. We hope this study is going to help you leverage this in the right perspective. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.